But we'll see. We'll see what happens going forward. And I don't know. I got a lot to think about, to be honest. And just for me personally, going forward with the game of basketball, I got a lot to think about.
There's a few key things the Lakers need to do next year if they want to be successful and they want to have a chance to win the championship and they want a chance to bring back LeBron. Just a few key things. Not that much. Not going to be that hard. Pretty simple if you really get into it. I think, and I'm just going off a limb of saying this, the LeBron, possible retirement thing, I think it's because, he wants another scorer on the team, whether that's Kyrie, whether that's like a Fred VanVleet, someone else, I don't know. But whether it's one of them, he wants a scorer on the team. They need a scorer on the team. If you look at the Lakers' biggest problem within these runs was through stretches, they just couldn't score. There were stretches where they just couldn't score at all. They couldn't do anything. And those were huge issues. That's the reason that they're bounced out of this in 4 games. With their defense, you tandem a just subpar offense. Go look at the Lakers' numbers, what they shot. It was awful. It was terrible, abysmal. Couldn't shoot threes at all. If you just put in one guy that was like somewhat consistent, they'd be fine. So, I mean, yeah, the first thing you got to do, you got to cut ties with D'Lo immediately. I'm a D'Lo guy. I like D'Lo. I don't mind him, but that was just awful. That was a terrible performance. You let everybody down. He's not taking enough heat for it. I feel like he's taking a lot of heat, but I don't think he's even taking nearly enough. Like, how do you show up that badly? He lost millions of dollars, but that's the first thing you got to do. Make sure to get rid of him. He's done. I don't think you need Schroeder. I respect what Schroeder did for the team over these years. You don't need him. You need to bring back Reeves. Very important. This player on the rise. He was one of the best sources of offense you had towards the end of it. At the end, so you need to bring back Austin Reeves. Rui Hachimura is a must. He needs to still be on the team next year. You need him as well. Anthony Davis. I don't know if ideally you would consider trading him, but you have to think about it. I don't know what kind of packages they're going to get at that point. I don't know what kind of I feel like his value is going to be nowhere near what it needs to be at that point. So at that point, they probably just have to keep him, which is fine. When he's healthy, he's one of the best defensive players in the league. Goes silent for some games offensively, but defensively, he's always going to give you it. So that's fine. Just keep him. You can bring back Lonnie Walker. It's not going to be that. He might have been more of a one-hit wonder in that game. He didn't really do much after that big game that he had. But he's a good guy to have on the end of the bench. Put him in, give him some minutes. And then what you got to do is you got to put all your money together, and you got to sign Kyrie. You got to find a way to sign Kyrie, because if you really look at it, the biggest thing that they are missing is an offensive just force. LeBron's not an offensive force anymore. There's stretches where he can be great offensively. But overall, he's not an offensive player. He never really was that great of an offensive player. Never. I mean, he does everything else really well. He's a great playmaker. He's elite passer. At moments when you really need him, he can be elite defender. Good rebounder. He can score. I'm not saying he can't score, but he's not that knockdown. His shots aren't always falling. He needs somebody like that. Kyrie's all offense. He's got bad defense. That's his problem. He's got too much offense. He's got double the offense, none the defense. You bring him in, he's not gonna really have to worry defensively because you got a bunch of other guys. And it's another thing, Vanderbilt, I say you bring him back as well. I don't know why they didn't play him as much down the stretch. But yeah, you bring him back, you're gonna have defensive guys. Rui and Reeves are actually pretty good defensively. And you tandem that with AD and all that. So I think you got to get him. If you can't get Kyrie, get a guy like Fred VanVleet. This is another guy, knockdown shooter. He's going to make shots. He's consistent. You can trust him. They need a guard like that. They need a guard that can sit down there and take shots. They thought it was D'Lo. It wasn't. He's too inconsistent. Not there for the big moment. So that's pretty much what you got to do. You just got to get a playmaking scorer. I think LeBron was just kind of upset. We see his emotions get the best of him, and I think he maybe made that comment. And I think he's thinking, we need a score. He knows they need a score. Maybe he's putting a little bit of pressure on them. I don't know. They interviewed the head coach and the GM today, and they looked like they were like, "What hit us?" They didn't look like they wanted to go a year without LeBron, because they know the second LeBron's gone, AD is going to be out of there soon. The whole thing kind of blows up to a rebuild. So I think those are the keys. You just got to get another key offense player. Get rid of D'Lo. I think if he just would have had, 2 good games in this series, there could be maybe a thing where you could bring him back, or like I could be saying, no, he's done. He's done in LA. I think he's a deep at the end of the bench guy that you go to in stretches. He's not an NBA starter anymore. He's just not. And that was the biggest thing that cost them. They had to have like young bench guys, 6-man types like Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura come in and give the bulk of the scoring because nobody else was. They need a scorer. I think LeBron will be fine. I think LeBron takes a little bit of a rest. Maybe even to start the season. I think he gets that foot surgery, takes his time, comes back. But it would be good to put a roster together that can win some games, get him ready. I think if you just do everything right, which is easier said than done, but if you just do everything right, everything the way it should be, they're going to be fine. They could be top 3 seed in the West next year. It's if they do everything right, though. So we will see. We will see.